Welcome to the Faithful Fathering Podcast. This is Robert along with Jason Hall, and we are covering for Rick Wirtz while he is out on the high country adventure in Colorado. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. And this podcast series, we've talked about a lot of different things. We talked about the Faithful Fathering trips. We talked about all the different events. We talked about the different studies. We talked about starting a core group of dads. And in this episode, we're going to summarize everything, give you a quick rundown, basically an overview of what the ministry does, what it has to offer, and how the ministry goes about encouraging and equipping dads. We remind you to chime in the comments, ask any questions in the comments, or feel free to reach out to Rick or Jason. Jason, you mind sharing your email address again, please?
Sure, absolutely. Jason at faithfulfathering.org.
Any questions can be directed that way or in any of the other ways I mentioned. We'll start by going over the trips again.
Sure.
First on the list here is the High Country Adventure, which Rick it's happening right now. Yes. As we speak. So tell us a little bit about that, Jason, if you don't mind, the High Country Adventure trip.
So last year, 24, I was fortunate enough to go on it. An amazing trip. It entails all the components of faithful fathering.
The three tenets.
The three tenets.
Yes.
Physically present, emotionally, and then also leading spiritually.
Yes.
Because you need all those. Those are critical things. So one example is we do a devotion every evening, which is the spiritual component. You're physically present.
Right. You don't have a choice. You're out in the mountains.
That's automatic, And then emotional part comes emotionally engaged because of the questions that come from that spiritual discussion.
Those conversations.
Exactly right. So you get to really dig deep with the gentleman as much as transparent as you want to be or you feel comfortable, and then also with your son.
Right. And as you talked about in the previous episode, you may not feel comfortable sharing something intimate in a big group.
That's right.
So then you move to the smaller group. You may not feel comfortable sharing something very intimate in that small group. Well, then you move to the one-on-one with your son, and that may be the time. And it may not, right? Everything is age appropriate, right?
True.
But that may be the time where you can share some things with your son. That's High Country Adventure, father-son trips happening late July, right?
Correct. It's always in the last week of July every year.
All right. So our goal is to get in shape to try to make next year's, right? That's one of the things we'll strive for. Next on the trips is the father-son and father-daughter backpacking trips. Those, if I'm not mistaken, happen in June, correct?
Correct. So 1 week entails the father-son and 1 week entails the father-daughter.
Correct. And very similar. It's also in Colorado.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe I've heard that the father-daughter is a little lighter in terms of physical activity. It's just not
the girls, they typically don't. They like bathrooms.
Yeah.
So they're a little bit more comfort for the girls.
Yeah, well, I mean, if I'm transparent, I like bathrooms too.
Oh yeah, I understand. Me too.
I had a trip with a church, and we were camping out somewhere, and I needed to take care of some business, and the one of the pastors, which is a good friend of mine, hands me a shovel, and I'm like, "What's this for?" And then he hands me toilet paper. I'm like, "Oh, that's what we're doing." He's like, "Yes, I like bathrooms, man."
But full disclosure, y'all, we do have access to bathrooms. The guys too. Full disclosure.
Okay, good. Yeah. I'm glad you said that, because I have not. Full disclosure, I have not been on either of these. Thank you for telling.
We do have. I'm just messing with y'all. We do have access. The guys have access to.
I'm glad you said that. I hate for somebody to get the wrong impression of the trip. Other events that we talked about are the local to Texas retreats, right? A father-son 1 year and a father-daughter another year, which is just, I'm assuming they're just scaled down versions of the bigger trips, but the spiritual components are still there.
Absolutely.
You're still prioritizing physical presence. You're still engaging emotionally.
Correct.
And you're still leading
You absolutely
spiritually
are.
by example.
Yeah, just in less days.
Right, less days. And those are a weekend, whereas the other trips are a week-long trip.
Correct.
Right? Yeah,
that
okay.
is correct.
Other events are the Faithful Fathering Gala, 25 years of ministry we talked about. Looking forward to the next 25 years. Excited for that. The impact that the ministry has made is incredible. There is a top golf tournament December 6th that is in the works. You'll be seeing more things about that. Informative breakfast and lunches throughout the year, right? Just as they come up with different churches that want to find out more information. Those also exist. Then in the spring, there's the annual golf tournament, which is always a blast, which is also a fundraiser. And as we talked about in previous episodes, everything that Faithful Fathering does is of no cost to the person receiving it. So we do rely on support, financial support from either individuals that believe in the ministry, individuals that have been through the ministry, or just somebody wanting to support a great cause. So
that's right.
If you're looking to do that, feel free to do that on the website, faithfulfathering.org. At the very top, there is a donate button. But yeah, that's the annual golf tournament, fundraising. It's just different. All of these are different ways to be intentional about fathering. The next episode that we talked about, and again, we're summarizing all of the episodes so you can go back and watch them in details. We're not giving a whole lot of detail. We're just kind of giving you an overview of these past episodes, the past 3 episodes. Faithful Fathering Studies. Episode 2, we talked about the Faithful Fathering Studies. And these are the studies that have been put together by Rick and the ministry, and they're prepackaged, ready to go. The Dads Becoming Heroes study, if you can quickly tell them what that's about. Yeah,
the Dads Becoming Heroes study is a great introduction. If you're a first-time dad just trying to learn, being introduced to Faithful Fathering. It has a beautiful component of one of the key points, just real quickly, is nurturing. We don't talk about that enough. Really embracing your son or your daughter, giving them a hug, or just putting your arm around them and being for them, nurturing. Right. We usually, a lot of men, not everybody, but a lot of men rely on the mother for that typically. Right. Which is not a bad thing, but also we have a responsibility as well.
Amen. So that's the Dads Becoming Heroes, then Dad's Armor study, which is based on the book of Ephesians.
Book of Ephesians.
And the Nehemiah study.
Yes.
Right. Those are the 3 different studies. And then other resources are a couple of books, devotions for dads. Where do they get that?
The devotion
is that on the website as well?
Faithfulfathering.org.
Okay, yes, and then the Seasons of Fathering book. I think that one's actually on Amazon.
Yeah, that one's for purchase on Amazon.
Yeah, that's for purchase on Amazon. Great book. It talks about the different seasons of fathering. The teacher season, from when your child is from birth till about 10 years old. The coach season, which is approximately 10 years old to 20 years old, and then the counselor season, which is when your child is 20 and over. And these are approximations, right? They're not exact ages. Everybody matures differently.
Correct.
But those are good guidelines. Those are the different studies and resources available. The 3rd episode was on the core groups of dads in local churches. So if you would give a quick overview of what that is. What is a core group of dads? How can one be involved or start a core group of dads? What does that look like?
So first of all, when we mention core groups, I want to mention that the core group leaders that we encourage and typically are a local dad, a lay leader, someone in the church that doesn't hold an official church title, like a pastor or a church staff, but someone who can come in and just, from the bottom of their heart, want to start a fathering movement in their church. And they work alongside the staff, but they give them the information, get approval, and then they can
don't give them additional work.
Right. Yeah, exactly
that's
right.
The key.
That's important.
The key. Yeah. Right. Church leadership a lot of times is just
you don't want to give them too much.
Right. Yeah. They've got a lot on their plates and pulled in so many different directions that we want to make it easy for them to co-sign.
Exactly right. So this core group, what they do is they plan, they prepare, they lead studies, they lead activities. They coordinate trips, the different things that the churches, they find out what does the church want to do, and they meet regularly, which is critical. They meet regularly so they can plan out whether it be monthly, weekly, whatever their schedules entail. And they propel and they lead the movement in their church.
Great. And with that, we talked about Faithful Fathering being in ministry for going on 25 years, and the impact that the ministry has had. Over 100 churches have been involved one way, or have participated, I think is a better way of have participated in some sort of Faithful Fathering event or study, or had some kind of involvement with Faithful Fathering over the past 25 years. So over 100 churches. Doing the math, you just can't imagine how many lives have been impacted by Rick's faithfulness, Rick's sensitivity to the call to leave the corporate world and start this ministry 25 years ago. And we're looking forward to the next 25 years, right? And the ministry prior to COVID had about 30 churches that were participating. And when COVID came, things got shifted around. We're back up to about 12, but let's shoot for that 30 again. Let's shoot to get back to that 30. That's a quick overview of the different things we talked about in this podcast series. Once again, we pray for Rick and the men and boys that are out at the High Country Adventure trip. And we can't wait to hear the stories and the testimonies when they do come back. And with that, dads, we remind you that Faithful Fathering exists to encourage and equip dads to be faithful fathers. We'll see y'all on the next one.